Hello, all my wonderful, wonderful people out there. So, we have a big announcement tonight, as we usually do whenever I do these super special announcements, right? Because they're always important, right? They're always big announcements, right? I always have to make them sound like they're big. And really, actually, though, they're all pretty big. I usually don't do announcements unless I think they're important enough to do in the first place. So, if you think they're excessive, then fuck you! But you know what? This is my channel, so we'll do whatever the fuck I want. So, back to the schedule. So, what we're going to do today is I'm going to be updating you on the status of Madness in Wonderland. And boy, I am just getting more and more excited by the day. Today is the 1st of February, everybody. 26 more days and you will delve down the rabbit hole into my twisted mind. A place nobody can really, well, retain sanity in. So, that's the goal of my entire writing, so I hope that it gets its job done. Now, on the update on that, not only will the first chapter be out in 26 days, but as of today, I have finished Chapter 9 and started on Chapter 10, titled Secrets in Spades. So, I hope that you will all be anticipating the next chapter on the 28th. Because the next month, on the 28th of March, you will receive it. Time permitting, of course. But, that's not the point. So, I have some updates on the progress of making the actual production that I would like to get out. So, in addition to doing the story and having these narrators do these voices, these characters are characters that I personally have thought their mindsets, their personalities, their battles in this story. This is not your traditional Alice in Wonderland story. In fact, it lacks most of the, well, I guess you could say wonder. It really focuses around the main characters, and I will not flesh out immediately who the other main characters are. I will for now leave it as, of course, the Mad Hatter and, of course, Alice. So, those are obviously big roles. I don't need to say anything on those. But, as big a role as they may be, neither of them are the main character. And the main character knows exactly who he is. And I believe I have chosen very wisely for each of the characters and each of their roles. I do not think that any of them have done bad so far. I have reviewed each of their lines as they have narrated them and sent them to me, and I must say that it's looking quite promising to all of you. You are all going to receive quite the treat whenever this is finally finished, and I assure you, it will be finished on time. It is going to be a great effort on my part to have this entire story put together, but with all of my narrators cooperating as they are, and with my time on my hands that I don't really have a lot of, but you know what? I make time because I don't care and I want to make it work. So, that's what's going to happen. We're going to make it work. And I'm going to bring you one of the most twisted stories that I hope you will ever hear. Filled with twists and turns that will have you questioning by the end of it if you yourself are insane. But that is the point of it. So, if that's not for you, then don't watch those videos. There should be, if everything goes according to plan in these next few months after I get the first chapter out, then I'll know for sure, but after I get the first chapter out, then we're going to go into the second chapter, obviously, but the second chapter is something that will bring in my character, and my character is, of course, the Mad Hatter, and boy, I can't wait to play that role. That role is going to be, by far, the favorite role that I have ever played on any character in any story on this channel. There's not a single story I'm going to enjoy playing the role of more than this one right here, because this one is my character. I wrote him for me, by me, for me to perform. And boy, I gave myself quite a bit of fun whenever I wrote him. So I think you're all going to enjoy that. But that will be next month. You have to hear this month's first. And by the time that you do, you'll be begging to hear what happens next. So, on top of that, we are almost at 2,000 subscribers. Now, I don't know exactly what I'll be doing for 2,000. However, there is another thing coming up in a few months that I must address. My 3-year anniversary. And I have already decided what I will be doing for my 3-year anniversary here on wonderful, wonderful YouTube. So what I will be doing is there is an old story that you might all recall on my channel titled The Storms. Now that story is my story. I wrote it. I wrote it out of inspiration of the story The Disappearance of Ashley, Kansas, which still stands as being one of my favorite stories ever. I wrote it kind of out of a concept of the mysterious things that could happen in a town, and it seems to only affect the one town. And it's that feeling of isolation that cuts you off from the outside world that really puts the terror into the story of Ashley, Kansas, as well as the storms, in my opinion. But the thing about the storms is, I feel like that was a very, very older story. I wrote that when I was younger, and I feel like I didn't do as well as I could have looking back on it now. And it still stands as being one of my favorite ideas that I've ever had as a narrator, as a writer, and, as a scary story enthusiast. But seeing as now my writing has evolved into something that is far, far more eloquent and far, far better, and even still, the stories that I have released on this channel are not my most recent. I believe the only recent stories I ever put out were the ones that I did for my first Halloween countdown, and even those weren't very well. Well, a few of them I liked the idea behind, a few of them I did not. One of them actually was true. Believe it or not, one of them was true. So, yeah, I've never really put out my writing that is detailed or eloquent out into the public because I just haven't found the time to do it, and I never found the interest in my own writing to express such a story to the public because I did not feel like I had a flowing narrative enough that it would have a good, solid beginning, middle, and end. I would always usually mess up on the one, or on the other, or on the third, because I would always rush at least one of them, and it always kept me from having a perfect story. Now, of course, when I say perfect, you know I don't mean perfect, because nothing is perfect. But, in that sense, you know what I mean. I tried to do my best. And in doing that, I came up with stories that are just downright batshit insane, balls to the walls, what the fuck were you thinking kind of stories. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It was experimental, and some of them actually worked out, Some of them have actually mesmerized people that I've told about them, despite the disturbing nature of the content. And it's all just in my head at the end of the day. Well, except for that one story, because that one story, like I said, it was true. And, there are really creepy things that happen. Like the Stanley Hotel, for those of you that follow my Twitter, you will recall that I did post pictures of what I caught on camera at the Stanley. And pictures, stuff like that. You can't deny that the stuff exists. And I'm not denying that in any sense. In fact, I'm a strong believer of it. But in that sense, you also have to know what's clearly fiction and what's not. What's believable and what's not. And, there's no real boundary for that because, if ghosts exist, you can say anything exists. But, it's not exactly that simple. I feel like there's a lot of complexities to that kind of issue that nobody really talks about because it seems to get into kind of debate that seems more like a child fight with no solid facts to support one side but solid facts against it on the other. So that's why that debate is always so heated, I feel like. But that's not the point, and I don't really care to debate anything on that because I'm not going to change my beliefs, and I know you're not going to change yours if you don't want to. You believe what you believe, and that's the whole point of free will. But, again, we get off topic in every one of these fucking videos, and every single fucking time I do this fucking thing with my fucking voice, and I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm sorry, I get off track too much that I just start to... I just recorded 4 stories in a row, so you can all shut up. Okay. Yeah, alright, we're starting off on that. We're starting off on a good note. Already 10 minutes into the video and rambling like a damn lunatic. Ah, man. Wouldn't they be proud? Anyways. What the hell was that? I don't know who I was talking to there. So, yeah, that's That's gonna be what goes on with that. Oh, I don't think I explained anything there. Shit, I just got off topic. I'm sorry. I remember now what we were talking about. We were talking about the storms, that story, and we got off on a tangent, and I rambled like a dumbass. So, back on topic with my blonde motherfucking ass. So, oh man, I'm pretty harsh to myself. Anyways, The Storms is a story I held close to heart and cherished. I liked the idea. I still like the idea. And I thought I could do something special. I got a request the other day to reboot my Jeff the Killer story. I know where it is. That is not the issue. In fact, the issue that I told the person that requested this is that I will not do it. I'm not going to do another Jeff the Killer story ever again. I'm not even going to do Vincent Vinicava's Jeff the Killer story because I don't feel like any Jeff the Killer story is great. None of them are perfect. None of them are slightly enjoyable, except for the ones that were in that contest. My phone's ringing on my side. Except for the ones that were into that contest, you know. Other than that, you know, I don't feel like any of them are enjoyable. I feel like the one that I did a justice to the old one and showed my roots in the community and in narrating. But in doing that, that was strictly what that was. It was strictly ceremonial. The first video that I did, of course I kept the video. Of course I didn't do anything to it. It's my first video. What the fuck do you think I'm going to do with it? But in that case, no, I will not reboot that story. I do not enjoy that story. I do not enjoy that I put that up for everybody to see. And the sole reason that I keep that story is because, one, it's mine. I'm going to own it. I'm going to say, yeah, I'm not going to go criticize other people's writing and then say, oh, well, look at this, what you wrote, and then you deleted it, and then that would look bad on me. No, I am going to have all my faults that are on my channel stay as they are, and they're going to stay there. I'm not going to fix other videos like that. That's the point of a reboot story. In fact, that's what I'm doing today. I'm rebooting 2 stories that I looked back on and recently listened to that I did not like the quality of, and felt like I could reboot in a way that would bring quality back to it. So I'm going to do that for all of you as a gift, because 5 stories in one night, yeah, you better fucking thank me, because that's not easy. I don't care who tells me it's not. The way that I have to do it, yeah, it's not easy. The way I'm accustomed to doing it, it's not easy. And I don't care about the fucking watermark on the damn revenue thing for people that are arguing in the comments that are saying, oh, you need to get rid of that watermark. You need to pay for your license. You need to shut the fuck up. This is my channel, bitch, and I will do what I see fit. It is mine. I created it. I will do as I please with it. I don't need to buy a license. You know, the visuals are not the things you should be focusing on. A little thing in the middle of the screen, yeah, it pops up every now and then. It's not there the entire time, so it doesn't bother me. I can watch those, and I can say, okay, you know what? I could criticize the fact that the video is not all the way across my computer screen. I could criticize the fact that it doesn't look like it's a fucking 4K cinema production. But, you know, I don't think that's the point of the story. Whenever I'm sitting there listening to a creepypasta, the only thing that I'm focused on is the story, the music, and the sounds. I don't focus on anything visual, really. I put up the visuals because it's a nice thing to distract people who actually focus on that kind of shit, because they don't actually focus on the content at hand. The content at hand is the story. Listen to the story and you should be happy. And if you're not, tell me why. I'd love to hear why. But in that respect, that is what I improve. I improve my audio. I do not improve my video as much as you would think other people do, because that's not the point of my videos. It's not the point of MCP's videos. In fact, I've taken a little more effort to make sure that mine don't exactly look like they're just repeating over and over, where MCP has not. So you know what? If you're going to complain about one, you better complain about them all. And in that respect, I've had my friends tell me before the same thing, and the only friend that has ever told me that, in fact, I told him, you know what? That shouldn't be what you're focused on. You should focus on the performance, you should focus on the sounds, and the cues on the voice, the effects. You should focus on anything but the visual. The only time you need to focus on a visual is if there's a picture of something that relates to the story on screen, and it just so happens to, you know, look like the thing that's being told in the story. Like Laughing Jack, you know, slowly pan up to Laughing Jack's face. You know, something stupid like that. But I don't care about that. That's not the importance of the video. It's not what I get on here and work my damn ass off talking into a microphone for 3 hours straight, trying to look like a damn lunatic to all my neighbors, probably. Yeah, that's not why I do this. I do this because I'm telling you a story. Whenever somebody's telling you a story in real life, you don't look at like some kind of visual the entire time. You're looking at them telling a story. You're envisioning it in your own head. And in fact, if you actually listen to the story and envision it in your own head with your own creative imagination, you might just find something scarier than what's actually on the screen. Because a lot of times, perception of reality and stuff like that, it just messes with your head and makes it look less menacing when it's something that's concrete and right in front of you. If you have to visually see this thing in your head, this creature, this monster, this whatever it is, then it makes it a lot more disturbing than if I just put you up a picture of what it's supposed to look like or some stupid fan art, and then that's what happens. And now I'm saying stupid fan art, but not all fan art is stupid. In fact, fan art's actually very, very creative sometimes. But, stuff like that, it's stupid. It's really stupid. I don't want to change my video stuff. If I wanted to change my damn video stuff, it would have been fucking changed already, so shut up about it. I'm not going to change it. Now, that might seem very rude, but I get a lot of these, and I'm getting sick of them because none of them bring up any valid point as to why I need to change it. So, it's not a big deal. It should not be a big deal. You are here to hear a story, not look at a screen the entire time. And really, I've had people tell me, oh, I work while I listen to them. I do the same thing. I listen to stories and I work. I usually listen to the narration that I'm going to do next while I am at work, in fact, because I have a lot of free time outside of work. So, whenever I've got breaks or stuff, I'll listen to narrations, and I will do that, and then I'll go home and I will exhaustedly, but of course, try my best to do the stories. And sometimes those have resulted in some of my best performances. Like right now, I get into spells where I can talk just on and 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 on, but it just happens like that. So these are just some things about my channel, really. It's come down to more of a channel update kind of thing. And that's what's going on with my videos. That's what's going to keep going on with my videos. And if you don't like the visuals on it, then I don't fucking care. You can go to somebody else's video. You are not taking any satisfaction away from me. I feel proud of the people that can stay and appreciate what I have put together. And if you can't appreciate it, then I don't need you to appreciate it. I don't need that support. That support is very, very, very special to me, and I do appreciate it, but I do not need it. That support is something that is extremely, it makes me feel respected. It makes me feel proud of something that I've done. And these people that loyally listen to my videos and actually come up with very, very, very good arguments. There was a person who pointed out to me the things wrong with the end of the case file series, a topic that I'm sure a lot of you actually noticed. And in fact, I noticed as well. And yes, there are plot holes in stories. Yes, they do exist. I do not know the answers to them. No, I don't know why anybody would ask me them. And I did explain this to the person. They were very nice to me, and I do not wish to, yell at them or scream at them by doing this. And I'm not going to say any name or anything, but they know who they are. But, I don't know the answers to those kind of things. You can't leave a comment on a video of a story that's not mine and expect me to be able to answer your plot holes that you found in the story. I can't do that. I don't know what the author was thinking, so I can't tell you what the author was writing either. I can't tell you his thought process. I do know that the Case File series ending, it gets a lot of controversy as being a separate story, and then the whole thing with there was an update file that I didn't do, and then there was the last one, and they're separated off, but I don't give two fucks. I got the story out. I wanted to do the damn stories, and I got it. I got the series done. I wanted to do the series. I got the series done, just as it was done by Mr. Creepypasta before, and so many others, I'm sure. But I got it done, and that's what my goal was. Now, this month, my goal is to get you all ready for Madness in Wonderland and the madness therein. And in doing that, I plan to do, before the release of the first chapter, a few videos separately discussing the character. Each one, their own video, discussing each character that we might encounter, and maybe some background information on them. I don't know, I might not do it. I might wait until after the first chapter is released, so you at least have a little bit of leeway going into it, but I can't guarantee anything. Anyways, this announcement video has gone on for a long time, and I'm sure that you're all terribly bored of hearing me talk. So, ironically, I'm going to now get off the mic and go edit, because I have 5 stories to get done before tonight, even though you're not going to hear this announcement until all 5 of those videos are done. That's how it works. I usually do these in advance, and then I come back, and then you hear them later. So that's how it goes. Bye, children.